Hello, my name is Scott Horst, and today I am at home and in my studio, and I'm going to make a video about TCGplayer Direct. My lighting is terrible. I don't have anything set up because I've been cleaning and rearranging and moving stuff around again. Of course, anyhow, back to the story. TCGplayer Direct. I want to tell you a little bit about my experience with it. Good, bad, or ugly, you be the judge. About many years ago, I decided I was going to start selling on TCGplayer. It's a trading card player website where people can upload, as in this case, small businesses can upload their cards and sell them directly to consumers and then ship them through, you just ship them to the consumer directly. And, I had a lot of luck with that. It was a good place for me to sell my higher priced cards. Because in a small community, sometimes it's hard to get rid of the $100+ cards or $50+ cards. Because a lot of times the smaller town guys just don't really care to have those expensive cards. So it was nice. It was nice. I used it just as the offload stuff, and so I slowly started uploading more cards and more cards and more cards, and just doing everything manually and shipping to people and all that good stuff. Over the years, I'm like, I have 10,000 cards listed, so this TCGplayer Direct thing kind of caught my attention. And what that is you get into this program and you have to have X number of cards online, you have to have number of sales, blah, blah, blah. And when you get into this program, they sell their cards, right, of the ones you have in inventory and ship them directly from TCGplayer. And then at the end of X number of days, TCGplayer sends you an invoice saying, hey, we sold this many cards of yours. We would like you to reimburse us for those cards. That would already be the cards that I listed. So if I had 10,000 cards listed, TCGplayer can sell any of those 10,000 cards, use their stock to send them to a customer, and then I would reimburse them with the stock that I have in my studio or my store. Sorry. That sounds like a great idea. I talked to they assign you a rep when you sign up, and I talked to her, it was her, and I talked to her, and she gave me the rundown on what should I expect. I should expect a huge increase in order. I should expect $300 to $400 a week in profits. She did stress many times that I should expect a large increase in orders. Now, of course, at this point, I'm a little nervous, but I'm thinking, well, I know I've got my cards all inventoried. They're all nice and neat and set up, the ones I have listed. The ones I have in the store are different organization, but the ones that I have set up for TCG are really nice and neat and organized. And I'm pretty sure I know how to, grade a card, because I've been doing this for quite a while. And I've been comfortable with my grading and all this and that. I thought, why not? I have 10,000 cards almost listed. Let's just turn it on. The application went through. She sent me a thing. She said, turn it on whenever you're ready and expect immediate results. I thought, this is one of those things that's too good to be true, right? And I thought, this can't be right. So I'm sitting in the middle of the day, about 3 o'clock. About 3 o'clock on a Friday, Wednesday, I believe it was. And then, there's a reason this is important. So 3 o'clock on a Wednesday, I'm like, okay, sure, I will just turn this on. Let's see what happens, right? So I turned it on. Okay. So I just closed everything down. I thought, well, I'll come back, check in a half hour, just to see, I should have some results by that point, right? And so people came in the store, we're chit-chatting, BSing, blah, blah, blah. I have a game group coming in that night, so we're getting ready for that. So I'd say about probably an hour and 15 minutes, probably maybe an hour and a half. It was about 4:30, I think, when I checked it. I thought, I gotta check this before we start gaming, just out of curiosity's sake. I need something to work off of, right? And and I look, and I have 135 orders. I'm like, oh wow. That's more orders than I usually get in a month. And this is within an hour and a half. I'm like, okay, 135 orders. That's a lot. Like, what the heck did I get myself into? Okay, no big deal. I got this. I thought, okay, I'm not gonna look at this anymore tonight. I'll deal with it tomorrow. I got, Thursdays I don't do much at the store. I figured I'll take care of most of that tomorrow. No big deal. Play the game. Thursday night after I get home, or Wednesday night after I get home from the game, it's about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Log in. About 345, 350 orders. I'm like, oh my lord, this is going to be silly. Not all those orders. TCGplayer, I think at the time, was sending about 90% of them. So I still had 30 some orders that I had to pack and ship myself personally, because that part doesn't turn off when you're selling through direct. You still get orders directly to you, because the customer can choose at checkout, hey, do I want direct or do I just want from customer? And with their shipping prices and all this and that, TCGplayer Direct has, sometimes customers just like going through you. So I have 30 plus orders I have to ship. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a little excessive. That's going to take a while. And it did. It took me quite a while the next day. And I thought, okay, well, wow. So I had a ticket, got them shipped out, no big deal. A couple days went by, same kind of consistency. I had a lot of orders, a lot of stuff shipping. I was mailing piles of envelopes to the post office every day. It was getting to be a lot of work. And then my first reimbursement invoice came in, which they called an RI invoice. And that is where I have to send my stock of the cards they sold for me to them. So the first invoice that I had to do was, I believe, around 3,000 cards. Which doesn't seem like a whole lot. I mean, it's just a box of cards, right? But as it turns out, there's a few hiccups in my my skills. One, the way I organize and the way TCGplayer organizes, two different things. So none of the cards that I had were in proper organization according to the way the reimbursement invoice wants them set up in these little boxes. And which is fine. I mean, it's not a negative thing. I guess I didn't realize that they've had a certain exact way of wanting cards coming to them. And it makes sense, because they're receiving thousands and thousands of cards a day. They have to scan these and look at these and make sure that they are what they are. And everything has to be nice, uniform, neat. Well, lo and behold, I did not. I mean, I had mine organized. Thankfully, I had them by set, and I had them by color, unfortunately, which is not what TCGplayer wants. They want them by alphabetical. So it was a little chaotic. I spent a better portion of my weekend from Friday, Saturday, Sunday sorting and just picking those 3,000 cards out of the cards that I had. And it was grueling. It was a grueling time. It was like many hours till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, getting back up at 7 and doing it again, because you have to find the cards that are the proper quality, the proper quantity, and the proper condition, and all that stuff. I mean, quality, same thing. But anyway, you have to do that, and then you have to ship them off in the boxes to them. And you have to do it like in one day. So thankfully that reimbursement invoice came on Friday, and there's no way in our small area that half time the post office is not even open on Saturday. So thankfully I waited until Monday, but I did manage to get it done, and I got them shipped off. And so the story's getting a little long, I know, but it's interesting anyway. So if you want to hear more, keep listening. Anyhow, so that happened. Take care of that. Okay, of course. Now the problem is still there's more orders coming in. They're not as many, because the initial burst of orders is because I had cards listed for a long time that are very desirable cards, but a lot of people, I guess, don't want to buy through private sellers. So little did I know, they'd be happy to buy through TCGplayer Direct, though. So anyhow, orders keep coming in week after week. This keeps happening. Now my orders did dwindle. They went down to 150 a day instead of 350 a day. And it's just, I did manage to get all my cards sorted, you know, so they were properly by set and then by alphabetical and then, yeah, by condition. But yeah, so there we are. We are 6 months into this, and it is chaotic as heck. It's finally slowed down a little bit, and I decided that just to look at the money I was making and the money compared to the money and time I was spending. And the money I was making was okay. I'm not going to complain. At the initial rush, it was way more than I was spending. Maybe not, because I didn't have the organizational skills that I thought I had. But before we get into the time and money, I should mention to you that once they get the reimbursement invoice, I know I'm jumping around here, but once they get the reimbursement invoice, they go through and check the quality of your cards. Well, cards that I thought were near mint, which are cards that I would assume that most of the time when you open out of a pack and put into a box should be near mint, right? Well, TCGplayer doesn't see that. And things that are lightly played with maybe like 1 or 2 little scuffs should be lightly played. I mean scuffs, not scratches, dents, whatever else. No, TCGplayer sometimes does not believe that is lightly played. So I guess my quality and card issues were not as good. So at the end of when they get done doing the reimbursement invoice, they take X number of cards and say, hey, these are the ones that you have to reimburse us for with money. Which is fine. I mean, I understood it. It wasn't a lot of money because most of the cards that were not mint quality or near mint quality that I sold as near mint or lightly played or moderately played, it wasn't a big deal. It was just a little more of a hassle because then you have to, they'll end up sending all these cards back to you at some point, and then you have whole cards. You have to see why they were messed up and why so it took me a pretty better part of this 6 months to figure this out. And I mean, to figure out quality compared, because the last reimbursement invoice I sent in, I think I only had 3 cards come up bad compared to, 10% of my cards the first order. And then, it just kind of got better down. So my last order was it was under 1% of my cards. Maybe 0.5% even. But anyway, so moving on. So TCGplayer Direct, yeah. It is a double-edged sword in my opinion. It's good because you can get rid of a lot of inventory and this and that. And if you just do matching market price, which is a whole other story, but if you're matching market price, you can sell a lot of cards really quick. If you go to lowest price, you sell way more cards way quicker, but you're also end up losing a lot of money on the direct sales to you because people may only have to pay a penny for a card. And sometimes some of these guys will come on there and buy 20 cards for a penny a piece. So they're paying 20 cents plus 78 cents shipping. So they're literally not paying even $1 for something that's going to cost you $1.50 to ship. Does that make sense? So in the long run, the direct is really great because in direct you can't really lose money except for the orders that come to you personally instead of through direct. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, like I say. Now, if you have a big inventory and you're selling 100,000 cards a month or whatever, I mean something ridiculous, and making $10,000 a month, you have a huge staff of people that can do this, TCGplayer Direct is probably absolutely a wonderful way to go. And if you can just go ahead and write off the costs of losing 50 cents per envelope that you ship, and you're shipping 10 envelopes a day times 30 days a month and blah, blah, blah. If you can justify losing that, then TCGplayer Direct is absolutely wonderful. I liked it. I used it, like I said, I've used it for 7 months. I did turn it off here. Mostly because it's like I'm trying to refocus how everything's working in my store. And it just gets to be a really giant pain in the butt for a store owner with just one person working, me, to spend half of my day sorting cards, doing this, doing that, to lose $3 in a day shipping envelopes, because that, it seems like the TCG Direct part may have slowed down, like where their TCG Player Direct is selling. And even though I still have 8,000 cards listed, because I'm still listing cards, it just, the number of people ordering directly from me at 1 to 10 cent cards still makes you lose money, right? And if I have 10 of those a day, I mean, you can do the math. It doesn't seem like a lot of money, but it is for a kind of small store. And then maybe once every week or so, I'll make 30 or to 70 bucks from TCG Player, depending on how many cards I sold. Now, I did take the advice of a few bigger sellers, and they told me, hey, go ahead and just up the minimum of your card price. So I did. I upped it to 25 cents, and it's still, it cut down my orders by huge amounts, like huge amounts. You know, instead of having 100 orders a day, I'd have 10 or 12 orders a day. And yeah, on 10 and 12 of those orders, I was making money, and even on the envelope ones, I was making money. But if I was doing 5 envelopes a day, and I was making 50 cents off that, 5 envelopes takes me 10 minutes to do, 50 for 50 cents. It just doesn't really seem worth it at that point. At least for me. Because I have other things I could do to make money, UVA and all this other stuff, but and just my retail store. So, in the long run, TCG Player was an absolute wonderful experience. I loved it, and I still have it. I can activate it anytime I want. On the other hand, right now I just have everything turned off. I'm turned off my inventory, so I don't have to worry about the orders coming through. I can try to figure out at some point if I want to hire somebody to do card quality for me to make sure that everything is good and everything is grand, and make sure everything's organized and uploaded nicely. And then maybe if I get my orders back up to 20,000 in the store and uploaded, maybe then I'll turn it back on. If not, I just uploaded all that for nothing, and that's okay too. Anyway, so that was my experience with TCG Player Direct. It's good, bad, ugly. I mean, either way, I've had my goods and downs with it. Would I recommend it to people? Yeah, I would, because yeah, why wouldn't you want to do it? You can make a lot of money off cards that just sit in boxes and do nothing, you know. And I did. I sold thousands and thousands of cards like that. It just happens to take thousands and thousands of work to get there. So anyway, yeah. So I guess that's about it. That's my experience. And so until next time, my name is Scott. You call me Guff. Signing off.